You see, there's racists and bigots in my family. I heard the N-word and derogatory jokes growing up, but when I found myself on my own before I'd even graduated high school, that family wasn't there to help me. My friend Liliana's family was. They were Guatemalan immigrants. If it wasn't for them, I probably would have gotten a lot more trouble than I did. Did you know that immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than U.S. citizens?
Hello guys, welcome once again to AfriPost. I hope wherever you are, you're having a great time. Now, there is this video that has been circulating and most people have given their reactions about it. It's about this white guy who was castigating his fellow people because of the fact that they have been rejoicing when Trump decided to end the DEI jobs. They've been rejoicing when the white people have really made a lot of effort towards ensuring that blacks are disadvantaged in America. And basically, he was talking about the black fatigue that has been experienced across United States. Many might wonder, what is this black fatigue? Mary Frances Winters refers to black fatigue as the chronic physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual exhaustion experienced by black individuals due to the persistent stress of systemic racism, racial discrimination, and microaggressions. It comprises the cumulative toll of negative inequalities in areas like education, healthcare, employment, criminal justice, and daily social interactions, often passed down intergenerationally. So that is what the guy was talking about, because he saw that blacks have been subjected to a lot of disadvantages, but still when the government tries to form affirmative action jobs like the DEI jobs, still whites are not happy about this. So he was talking and saying that he's been waiting for years to speak about this thing that has been burning in his heart. I want us to watch this clip where he was speaking and then the reactions that his video got from different compilations that I've made. So let's watch this, then come back and share our thoughts.
Holy crap, you gotta listen to this. I've never been so in love with a stranger.
I don't know if you are attacking DEI because you convinced yourself that racism and discrimination doesn't exist anymore, or if you've just convinced yourself that it's okay. What I do know is that white supremacist groups still feel emboldened enough to march openly in American streets. People are proudly proclaiming themselves racist and bigots on social media and even national television. And I know that it'll be those people that are cheering and applauding for you the loudest when you decide to dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion in our schools. And the fact that doesn't give you pause, that it doesn't make you feel sick and slimy, tells me everything I need to know about you. When I look at you, the 6 of you that'll vote against this, I'm disgusted. But I'm also grateful. I'm grateful for all the experiences I had that kept me from being like you. You see, there's racists and bigots in my family. I heard the N-word and derogatory jokes growing up, but when I found myself on my own before I'd even graduated high school, that family wasn't there to help me. My friend Liliana's family was. They were Guatemalan immigrants. If it wasn't for them, I probably would have gotten a lot more trouble than I did. Did you know that immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than U.S. citizens?
He's right.
Statistically. And then there was my friend Trey's mom, taking care of all those kids all on her own. Still somehow always able to find a prayer and a plate for me too. Did you know that black mothers are more than 3 times as likely to be single moms than white mothers?
He's right.
Statistically. It was the queer kids that helped me learn how to navigate life on the streets. Did you know that LGBTQ kids are more than twice as likely than their peers to be homeless?
Right again.
Statistically. But because of those kids, when my child came out to me, I was able to be the father that they needed, despite all of the religious indoctrination I'd been subjected to. Did you know it's more likely your priest will be a predator than your kid will be trans?
Dang.
Statistically. Now, I know you don't care about my stories or my statistics. Your fear and ignorance has got you so turned around rather than embracing the future. You're clinging desperately to echoes of the past. That future, it's still coming, and it doesn't look much like you, statistically. Shout out to the student speakers. You may be blind, but these kids aren't. They see you. More than that, they see that you do not see them. So tonight, after you vote against their future and go home to bask in the approval of racists and bigots,
Dang.
don't mistake this for a day that we stood in your way and couldn't stop you. No, today's the day you decided to stand in the way of these kids and their future. And someday, sooner than you think, they're going to run right over you and not even look back. Make good decisions.
Oh my God, I love this man.
You know, I just watched a white man talking about black fatigue. And he said that he's been wanting to say this for 40 years. 40 years. Now, he's not an old man. No. He looks like he's in my generation, Gen X. And what's funny is 90% of this black fatigue conversation that's been going on amongst the whites, do you know what generation of people is coming from? White ones. White Gen Xers. And much in the immortal words of Ice Cube, God damn, I'm glad y'all set it off. I am. Because this is a conversation that a lot of people within the Gen X generation, but don't share that white skin, have been wanting to say to you bastards for a very long time. A very long time. Way to adopt the same racist ass attitudes as your parents and grandparents. Good job. Of course you would sell us out. Just because you can talk about certain milestones and touchstones that we all share does not mean we're a generation of people that get along with each other. In fact, some of you motherfuckers I wouldn't stand next to if you were on fucking fire. I wouldn't. While you're talking about Breakfast Club and leg warmers and He-Man and G.I. Joe and Voltron, do you know we just passed the 40th anniversary of the bombing of the MOVE organization in Philadelphia, and I didn't see one of you white, black, fatigue having motherfuckers say a goddamn thing about it? Did you notice that? Where the Philadelphia Police Department dropped a bomb on people who were living in a socialist commune, black folk. I noticed y'all didn't have, where's the nostalgia for Gen X for that? Where is it? You see, a lot of you Gen Xers, white ones, I might add, a lot of you white Gen Xers, y'all have always been a disappointment. That's why there is no such thing as solidarity amongst the Gen X generation. Because we know how some of y'all move, and we ain't liked your asses since. We saw you. Don't think we didn't. You thought you were able to get away with, oh, well, I like Tupac, bitch. Who gives a fuck what you like? Who gives a fuck what you like when it comes to Pac? That's you glomming on the shit. And you expect, well, we gave you Red Hot Chili Peppers. Where's this white Gen Xers black fatigue for shit like Rodney King? No, y'all like to talk about riots. As if y'all don't remember why the fuck somebody would riot in the first place. See, we lost some of you motherfuckers during the OJ trial. Ain't no use to me lying. Some of y'all lost y'all balls during the OJ trial because you forgot you were Gen X and remembered you were white. And we just been carrying your asses around. Y'all bring nothing to the table. Y'all nostalgia means shit to us. It always has. Because all the fuck you did, was look at the shit that your grandparents and grandparents were saying, and you try to pretend like you weren't one of them. Because you like Michael Jackson, Billie Jean on MTV. You knew 90% of the shit that your parents said was wrong. Because you got a chance to see us. You got a chance to be around us. But we noticed you guys were no different than your parents and grandparents. We noticed that. We looked and said, while your parents and grandparents remember the greatness of Ronald Reagan, not around here. Not around here. Sorry. There was no greatness to Ronald Reagan. Fuck him every day and twice on fucking Sundays. While you guys remember, we won the Cold War. We didn't win shit. We didn't win a goddamn thing. Some of you motherfuckers wasn't willing to fight shit. The power, fucking the Soviet Union, nothing. You saw what crack cocaine did to our neighborhoods. And you kept your fucking mouth shut. You kept your fucking mouth shut. Even though you knew for a fact the Rockefeller drug laws and Reagan's war on drugs, which was a war on poor black and brown bodies, you knew it was wrong. In your heart, you knew. Because you had black friends in school, remember? I can't be racist. I know a black kid. You didn't hear them stories? You didn't? Oh, that's right. But we're supposed to all be unified because we're Gen X. We were the latchkey kids. Some of us were latchkeys because we only had one parent at the house. Some of y'all were latchkeys because your mother and father were getting a fucking divorce. All that bullshit that they told you, all that bullshit your grandparents told you, you were supposed to be the generation to fight that shit. But you didn't. And we see the result now. Some of y'all within the Gen X generation aren't worth a fuck. You're not. Sorry. You are not. All you've ever had is nostalgia. Love you some born in the USA, but you ain't never listened to the lyrics. You have never listened to the lyrics of Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. You ain't never listened to it. Never. Y'all want to try to pretend like music was great and we all was getting along. Do you remember when MTV didn't want to play any black fucking artist? Do you remember how your MTV Raps hit? It was music we were making that y'all were fucking taking because the shit was being played more in those small ass white towns than they were around us. We would buy a certain album and then y'all would buy a certain album and that's how the shit would go platinum. That's when artists started fucking catering to your dumb asses. Remember Run DMC and Aerosmith? I remember Run DMC being the hottest hip hop group around. And I remember Aerosmith, The End. Who's want some nostalgia? Fuck you. Fuck you. No. And now we see the result of that shit. Y'all have become the parents y'all couldn't stand. Those divorced parents you motherfuckers dislike so much. I'll never be like them. You're exactly like them. You adopted their same fucking racism. You just use newfangled words. You were the motherfuckers that came up with criminal and thug equals black. You did. You're the one that taught your fucking children that somehow being black is a carte blanche to get a bunch of goddamn things. And the majority of you motherfuckers voted for that stupid son of a bitch sitting in the White House as if you don't remember what happened in 1989. Oh, I forgot. It might not have played well in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We ain't never been the same. We ain't never been the same. I'm thanking you motherfuckers for actually showing your true colors. Because I ain't trust some of y'all in a while. A long while. This Gen X solidarity has always pissed me the fuck off. Because I know for a fact where I come from and the world that I've seen, some of you motherfuckers not only don't give a fuck about it, but never gave a fuck about it. You just like the fact that we were all in the same generation. We're the unknowns. No, we are the knowns. You motherfuckers are the unknowns. Because we didn't know whether or not y'all were actually going to grow up and be different than your parents and grandparents. Well, now we see that you aren't. Now we see that you aren't. It is quite fucking apparent when it comes to the Gen X generation, with all the striving and the success that everybody else around has tried to fucking make out of that goddamn generation, it's always been you lazy bastards that have always held us back. That's why there is no such thing as Gen X solidarity. I'm just glad you motherfuckers took your mask off. We've been waiting for y'all to be who you truly are for 40 years. I bought the Thriller album. Fucking thrill these nuts. Thrill these fucking nuts. I went to see Purple Rain. Do you want a cookie or something? Y'all have always been a disappointment. Always. Now you're being an out loud disappointment. So I want you to put that on your Black Fatigue calendar. The very day, I see or hear one of you, I'm suffering from Black Fatigue, motherfuckers talk about the bombing of the MOVE organization in 1985. Maybe I'll sit down and deem you worthy enough to have a conversation with. As it stands right now, you motherfuckers are showing exactly why we've never trusted some of you. There's not enough MTV and He-Man for me to do so. You know, by accident, I scanned my For You page, and that video that came out shortly after Donald Trump made that video, or that AI video about Trump Gaza #1, popped up. And the Muslim man from Dearborn that says, first off, this guy's an idiot and he'll never, he's an idiot, he's stupid, but he voted for Jill Stein. And his rationale was, well, if Kamala had won, no one would have ever believed us ever again. Can I be honest with some of y'all on the left, especially you far leftists that, want to blow everything the fuck up without a plan in place? There's a reason we will never stand with you again. Never. You can call it bootlicking Democrats. I call it you don't have any fucking strategy. You're a bull in a china shop. A blind bull in a china shop. You don't know what the fuck you're going to hit. You're going to hit us and everything else that you want to smash up to pieces. You see, you never had a strategy. You know how I know you never had a strategy? Because some of y'all hopped your dumb ass out here and said, I'm not going to. Some of y'all literally made rationales on voting for a bitch that shows up every 4 fucking years to run for president, loses, takes your money and bones the fuck out until the next 4 years show up. Oh, she's also a Russian plant, but we're not even going to get into that. Some of y'all actively said vote for Trump, but don't vote for Kamala Harris and expect to be accepted in my community. In other words, you banked your activism here on the lives of people in Gaza to try to prove a fucking point, and then you failed. Every one of y'all love bringing up Martin Luther King. Here's something a lot of y'all don't remember. A lot of y'all don't remember this. The Montgomery bus boycott wasn't about, oh, wow, let's show them we don't need the bus. It was an economic crippling. It was. The Montgomery bus boycott was about economically crippling the bus system in Montgomery, Alabama. Once you hit them pockets, people came and started to talk to people. You got to pack them pockets first. The whole time when y'all were getting mad at Democrats and Kamala Harris and this, that, and the third, did any of you ever try to boycott their donors? Did you ever think about boycotting their donors? Did you even know that they had donors that you could boycott? You didn't put no effort into that. None. You didn't try to economically make these people come to the table. Because you know what you would have done? If you had started an economic boycott behind every donor to the Democratic Party, those donors would have forced those Democrats to come talk to you. In America, it's always about economics. You want to make a statement, pat them pockets. Don't believe me? Look at Target. Black folks didn't boycott every fucking superstore, Walmart, and we're just going to boycott any of these stores so that when we get, no, bitch. You boycott strategically, like a surgeon. You don't boycott like a dumbass. But y'all will bring up, we're bringing up Martin Luther King. We must be on the right side of history. You're not. Your torch it all so that I can get my little thing magnified doesn't work. Because you're going after the politician and not the people that back those politicians with that money. And this is why nobody will ever listen to you again. For what? You can't lead us no goddamn where. You don't know where the fuck you're going. That's why you see so many of these fucking far leftist fucking influencers who had all that mouth. Now all of a sudden they finding other shit to do and putting hands in pockets and whistling by graveyards and shit. Because you weren't strategic. You wanted to make a point. Gaza was your point. Okay. You want to bring these people to the table? Hit the people that are donating to them. You could have hit every fucking person, every donor. Didn't matter where that money came from. Name them and shame them. Boycott this thing that is connected to this thing, which is connected to these people that donate to the Democratic Party. That is what strategic fighting is. Y'all don't know what the fuck you're doing. And then you run out there and inevitably the thing that you wanted to get fixed gets fucked. Now all of a sudden you either hiding your hands or asking for fucking help. Why? The anti-blackness and the anti-black woman comes from you motherfuckers not knowing what the fuck you're doing. You love talking about the civil rights movement, but you don't study the motherfucker. The quickest and easiest way to bring a motherfucker to the table is to fuck with that money. It always has been. America talks in finance. America talks in business. When you pat them pockets, people have a tendency to want to start correcting shit. And the Target boycott is a perfect fucking example of this. Target decided we're going to try to curry favor with Donald Trump, so we're going to back off of DEI. And black folks said, all right, bitch, we'll back off of Target. Now look at them. Are they coming to the table? At this point, we don't give a fuck if they do or not. But they're now realizing we kind of need these people. We really kind of need these people. Motherfucking CEOs making less money based on sales. You will not take the black dollar for fucking granted. And now they know. And if they do decide to come back to the fucking table, we might not be there when they do. I ain't been in a Target since this shit started. I drive right past motherfuckers like they ain't even there. That's where you could have went. You could have made your point by fucking with people's money. You could have. You could have made a strategic, scalpel-like fucking fight against the donors of the Democratic Party. Forcing those donors to talk to those politicians to go talk to you. But you didn't. And a man sat there and said, had Kamala Harris won, nobody would have ever listened to us again. Well, guess what? Now we really ain't listening to you. Because in the process of you doing that, you fucked us. You fucked us. You want to know why a lot of people are so pissed off at y'all? It ain't got shit to do with Palestinian people. Nobody wants to see what's happening to them happen to them. And that includes some Jewish folks. That includes some Israelis in Israel right the fuck now. No, it was your fucking arrogance, your anti-blackness, and your anti-black woman that pissed off so many fucking people. You think this was about your vote? No, bitch. It was about your arrogance going to that vote. Because in the long run, you would have gotten a hell of a lot more flies with honey than you did with vinegar. But you didn't even bother with the vinegar. You went straight to gunpowder and fucking shoe prints and shit. You weren't strategic. So stop bringing up the civil rights movement. Stop it. Stop it. Stop bringing up any parts of the civil rights movement. Stop bringing up Martin Luther King. Stop bringing up the March on Washington. Stop the I Have a Dream speech. Stop all of it. Because you learned absolutely fucking nothing. The first act of the civil rights movement, the Montgomery bus boycott, none of you studied it. None of you. But you walk around talking like you know what the fuck you're talking about. You weren't strategic. You were a blunt instrument, and you fucked over so many people on the same side of the political aisle as you. Why? Because you were selfish. And now you're running from your fucking consequences. Don't. You're right. We will never trust you again. We will never talk to you again. We will never listen to you again. And we will never stand in solidarity with your ass ever again. Because it wasn't just the fact that you were a blunt instrument. It's that you were an arrogant, anti-black woman fucking blunt instrument. And now the thing that you did all that bullshit for, whether you sat out, voted for Jill Stein, or voted for goddamn Donald Trump, now it's coming to fruition in a way you don't like. Now you want to talk solidarity. Go study how the fuck we did it the first time before you even come and fucking talk to us again if we decide to talk to you ever.
From that clip, I think you're able to see and understand the frustrations that the white guy speaking in that school board meeting. is having, because one thing that happens is that he's been living with whites because he's also white, and he's seen how his race has contributed to kind of disenfranchising blacks of the things that they deserve. The black people have no access to equitable education system. They are going to schools that are underfunded. When you look at even the disparity in terms of wealth disparity and even health disparity, it is very wide. So he is talking about a challenge that he's seeing, and he knows that at one point blacks will overpower the things that they're going through. And those who are right now laughing, those who are happy about their circumstances, will regret their steps they took today. So what is it about this black fatigue that he was talking about, and the contributions that whites have had about it? So black fatigue, as articulated by Mary Frances Winters, describes the chronic exhaustion, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, that black individuals endure due to systemic racism, discrimination, and microaggression. This pervasive condition stems from navigating a world where inequalities in education, healthcare, employment, criminal justice, and social interactions are constants. For black people, the daily reality of being stereotyped, profiled, or marginalized creates a cumulative toll. Psychologically, it manifests in anxiety, depression, or suppressed rage as individuals grapple with the pressure to perform respectably or absorb racial slights. Physically, the stress contributes to health disparity like hypertension, diabetes, and chronic fatigue, which studies show black Americans face higher rates of stress-related illnesses. Spiritually, this relentless need to prove one's worth erodes a sense of peace, often compounded intergenerationally, as families pass down coping mechanisms to survival in a racially hostile society. For example, the trauma of witnessing a fearing incident like police violence, evidenced by the 2020 killing of George Floyd and others, intensifies this fatigue. Black fatigue is not just personal, but communal, as black communities collectively bear the weight of advocating for justice while facing resistance. The emotional labor of educating others about racism or defending one's humanity adds further strain, leaving many feeling trapped in a circle of hypervigilance and depletion. So how have black people suffered in the hands of whites? That is what I've just explained. But then, how have whites contributed to this thing called black fatigue? White individuals and systems have historically and contemporarily sustained black fatigue through actions and inactions that perpetuate systemic racism. From slavery to Jim Crow laws, redlining, and mass incarceration, white-dominated institutions have engineered disparities that keep black communities under constant pressure. Today, policies like discriminatory housing practices or biased policing continues this legacy, forcing black individuals to navigate environments designed to disadvantage them. For instance, studies show that black workers are less likely to be promoted despite equal qualifications, contributing to economic stress. White complicity also appears in subclear forms. Microaggressions such as questioning a black person's competence or dismissing racism as exaggerated force black individuals to expand energy defending their experiences. Recent backlash against DEI initiatives, often led by white voices, exemplifies this. By framing these efforts as divisive, critics undermine tools meant to alleviate systemic inequalities, thus maintaining the status quo. On platforms like X, some white commentators misappropriate terms like black fatigue to critique black behavior, ignoring its original meaning and adding to the emotional burden by gaslighting black communities. This denial of racism impact, coupled with resistance to structural change, ensures black fatigue persists as black individuals most continually fight for recognition in spaces that remain hostile or different. So that is it from us in terms of the issues that regard black fatigue. I think I'm very, very happy about the stand taken by the guy that just spoke, and what the reactions that he's gotten tells you that blacks will one day get this opportunity to kind of overcome the challenges that they are going through. They will overcome these kind of challenges, and they will live to remember that at some point disenfranchisement and disrespect was the order of the day among them. Tell me down in the comment section what you think about this. And if you're watching us for the first time, kindly consider subscribing to the channel, like and share. You can also join our membership to get access to exclusive content that we always give in this channel. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless you. Goodbye.